everyone, I'm Wrong Rookie, and today we're going to look at Inspector Waffles, developed by Goloso Games, and available on PC and home consoles. I decided to check out this one after having played the demo of Early Days. Since this game is in the adventure point-and-click genre, all I'm going to say in regards to the story is that Waffles is on a murder case and has to solve the crime while fighting his depression and being forced to team up with Spotty, who gives him a hard time solving the case. The game plays like a typical adventure game, where you take items and use them to solve puzzles. But there's a new thing to do, and that is to interrogate with the characters who will give you a lead to the case. And you sometimes have to use the items that you find to question the characters, and that adds to the challenge. I solved most of the puzzles pretty easily, and rarely did I have to call Waffles' mom to get a hint on how to solve the puzzle. Some of them were a challenge and did take time to solve, but I think otherwise the puzzles are not very cryptic for the most part. I like the world in this game that is centered around cats and dogs, and the theme doesn't seem to be too dark. It's a bit on the lighthearted side, which I like. The characters are without a doubt the best part of the game, as they add a lot to the story with their own personalities. Spotty and Patches, especially Patches, are my favorite characters in this game, as they are this game's main humor to me. The praise doesn't stop there, as the music is also great. It reminds me a lot of the Professor Layton kind of songs, and I like it a lot, so I bought a copy of the entire soundtrack. Unfortunately, this comes at the cost of the game's direction and the graphics, as I have mixed feelings about this. On one hand, I dig the sprite work, but there is a serious lack of animation played here. Most of the time, the game fades in with a black screen and fades out when moving to newer places. Even worse is that the characters don't even move. No matter how far the objects are, Waffles just picks them up and that's it. The characters just remain static the majority of the time, which just makes the game feel a lot more lifeless. Now look, I can get that if this was on something like, say, the Game Boy or Atari 2600, I can see the argument made there that could excuse the lack of animations due to hardware limitations. And I guess I can forgive Early Days if it does end up with fewer animations. But as far as PCs and consoles today go, we are now past that point. Especially in the case of adventure games, where even games like Brock the Investigator have a lot of animation that gives life to the characters. It also doesn't help that there is no voice acting here at all. And I say this as a backer of Beyond the Edge of Owlsguard, a game that had most of its budget focused on voice acting. What's worse is that the game has these hand-drawn cutscenes, which have more life to them than the actual sprite work. I would have at least liked it if the hand-drawn ones were viewed as portraits instead of being sprite-based. There does seem to be a bit of replay value here, as you have to find these cards hidden somewhere, but they are missable, and you have to start the game again if you didn't back up your save from specific chapters. Overall, what I've played so far seems to give me a lot of hope for Early Days, as that appears to flesh out a lot of what this game should have been, at least from the graphics and, to an extent, the gameplay side of things. Although my thoughts will largely remain the same even if I beat this game, I hope for the best for Goloso Games in making Early Days as good as possible. And yes, I am one of the backers of that game. Don't get me wrong, it's a solid game, but it just could have used more life to make it really stand out. Well, that is it with this video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and in the meantime, thank you for watching Gaming Roki. Have a good one.